Hey, good morning, Dan. Good morning, Nikki. It has been a few weeks, maybe more, since I've made a video for you guys. It's Sunday morning early, blue sky outside, new fallen snow. I got a cup of Pickwick coffee, and I'm gonna get comfortable in my chair now. And I was going through iTunes thinking, what music do I want to listen to? And for whatever reason, on my computer, I've got 4 albums by Leanne Rimes, including one of her inspirational songs, which starts with "You Light Up My Life." Now, as you guys know, I think that was a Carpenter song originally, and I love the Carpenters, especially Karen Carpenter. Anyway, and I thought, if this doesn't inspire me to make a video for Dan and Nikki, nothing will. So I'm making a song. I'm making an inspirational video for you guys. Prepare to be inspired. So I'm a minute and a half in, and I've said nothing so far. But I thought what I would do is I would talk about stuff that's in the news. I was looking through the Sunday paper today, and was inspired, by that, by Leanne Rimes, by the new fallen snow, the blue skies, the sunniness, the sheer potential of the day. I was inspired by all that to make a video for you guys, because you light up my life. So really though, I guess the first thing I want to talk about is the Sunday ban on alcohol sales in Minnesota. Back in 1935, I think it was in 35, after Prohibition failed, the legislature, in its divine wisdom, created a ban on Sunday sales of alcohol in Minnesota because of, no doubt, divine retribution if they chose to sell alcohol on Sundays. So, how many years has that been? A lot. 80 years? 70 years? 80 years? 80? 35? Yeah, 80 years next year. So, it's a bit of a dinosaur of a law, and there's still a lot of talk as if somehow the arguments are that it's for social reasons and religious reasons, which of course, as you guys can probably imagine, is all bullshit. What it comes down to is money. And here's the deal: the booze companies and the booze outlets, and as well as the unions, know that if they lift this ban on sales, then they're going to have to renegotiate all these union contracts. And the unions don't want that, because they think they're going to get, the short end of the stick, which they probably will. But I think it's funny because actually, and there's actually hope this year that that's going to change, simply because the Republicans control the legislature in Minnesota. They tried to lift it last year, but the Democrats folded primarily because pressure from the unions, which is just, I just think it's utterly ridiculous that people can't go out and buy a beer on Sunday. I mean, you can buy a beer in a bar. Bars are open. Bars? Yeah, bars are open. You can buy beer, but you can't buy alcohol in a liquor store. It's just, like most things, we have this facade of morality and ethics when in fact it all comes down to money and control and power. I raise my glass full of coffee and hope that they overturn this silly law Um, I just find it hard to believe that I still live in a state with blue laws. Of course, we could live in an entire country of blue laws if we wanted to live in the Middle East somewhere. But yeah, it's yeah. So that's that. The next thing I want to talk about is, I don't know if you guys know who Betsy Hodges is. Probably not. Betsy Hodges is was a classmate of Beth's in the same graduating class from Bryn Mawr back in 90. What year did she graduate? 91? Yeah, because I think, Sarah, you graduated in 90, right? Yeah, that's right. So anyway, so Betsy Hodges is also was elected last year as the mayor of Minneapolis. Beth actually got hit up for campaign contributions, which I thought was funny. You know, Bryn Mawr allegiance runs deep, but not that deep. Anyway, so she got elected, and then, you know, she has some fairly progressive politics, apparently. I don't pay much attention to that, but what I did pay attention to was the fact that the Minneapolis police union accused her of throwing gang signs during interviews. I thought that was actually pretty funny. It's the rose. Inspiration. Are you feeling inspired yet? I know I am. Anyway, it's so Betsy Hodges was accused of throwing gang signs, and eventually, I mean, it was in the news for like a month. Eventually, she had to explain in detail why she was not throwing gang signs. I know she wanted to throw the argument out there, but listen, I'm a Bryn Mawr woman. Why would I possibly be throwing gang signs? But that's not really going to sway many people in Minnesota. So I thought it was hilarious that a Bryn Mawr woman throwing gang signs. It just shows how far, how evolved our community is. So, okay, so that's Betsy Hodges. Let's see what else is in the paper that I want to talk about. The Pope talking about capitalism. You know, that's an interesting one. I don't know if I told you guys about the talk that I gave at the business school at Winona State. It was called Get a Life. I entitled it Get a Life, Balancing Business Sense with Domestic Sensibility. So you get it, Sense and Sensibility, bringing a little Jane Austen in. Bridge Over Troubled Waters. Who doesn't love this? So anyway, so I gave this talk, and so what I was talking about was that, you know, one of the things that you want to decide first when you open a business, when you open especially a small business, and really I was talking about small business, was how big is too big, and how big do you want to get? And the importance of defining that right at the get-go. I also addressed what I felt was the very important issue of I don't know what I was going to address. I just completely lost my point. I'm so inspired by Leanne Rimes singing Bridge Over Troubled Waters. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Anyway, probably YouTube's going to kill audio on this, so watch it fast. But the importance of relationships, of being able to maintain relationships in business, and that if you want to work 16 hours or 18 hours a week, a day, yeah, you can. You can be successful. You can be really successful. You can be monstrously successful, but at what cost? If you don't have any relationships, if you don't know your family, you don't know your spouse, you don't know your partner, you don't know your neighbors, you don't know your community, what have you gained? Hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, billions of dollars maybe, but, again, at what cost? So I don't know if that is, the cynic in Dan is going to throw out the fact that that perhaps I'm being lazy, perhaps I'm not fulfilling my potential. But the sensible person in Dan is going to disagree with that and say that he understands the importance of relationships. What I find, especially at Mugby, and Nikki, you've been there once, is that you know, for me, being able to go in and actually talk to all my customers and spend time with them, and I don't know whether I'm going to be spending 30 minutes with someone or 30 seconds with somebody, and you just don't know from day to day. And what I find is that there's an awful lot that I don't get done in a day because I'm talking to people. And I think about that, and I think about what do I, you know, Einstein has a quote that says he's most productive and most creative when he's away from the ringing of the telephone. I don't know, maybe especially after Galen's died, I realized that I like to be, I like to talk to people, I like to be with people. You know, Dan, we just discussed the other day about, yeah, you know, how am I doing relative to Galen? Well, I'm still pissed off about it. You know, I haven't slid completely into cynicism, but yeah, I'm still pissed. It still bugs the shit out of me. But I think one of the ways that I deal with that is I stay engaged with other people. And maybe it just because it makes the time go by faster, and with time comes a lessening of the intensity of the feeling. But I don't know, I think there's a lot to gain out of from those kinds of relationships. So back to that business talk that I gave. You know, I talked about the importance of maintaining those relationships and of maintaining a humanness in your business, where you can both be cognizant of, you know, the capitalistic nature of small business without running roughshod over customers, other vendors. You know, sometimes there is an enough, you know, it is okay to say, oh, this is enough for me. If I can just maintain this level, I'm fine. It may not mean I have complete financial freedom, but what the hell would I do with it? I mean, if I were to, you know, make $1 billion and sell this business, then what would I do with my life? I like working. I like the fact that I see the people, you know, that I see when I'm working, and that's an okay life to have. Yeah, would I like to have enough free time that I can come out and visit you guys? Of course I would, and hopefully I'll get there. But you know, it's an okay life. It's an okay life. Now the irony about, not the irony, I don't know, let's throw that word out. What I find funny is that I had given that talk and a couple of people heard about it, and the the woman who's in charge of organizing speakers for the Women in Business group in town asked me to come and give that presentation at the Women in Business group. So these are all women in small business. And what's funny is the way I'm going to start this talk is that I'm going to say, you know, does it seem odd that I, being a man, is coming in to talk to you, a bunch of women, about maintaining relationships while balancing that with your professional life? I mean, do you really need a man to tell you about getting in touch with your emotions and your relationships? I don't know. I think that's pretty funny. The problem is it's not really going to increase my my reputation as a manly man in the community. So anyway, so that's that. Let's see. Anything else going on in the paper? There's other things in the paper I wanted to talk about. We could talk about sports. The New Orleans Pelicans seem to be doing pretty well. Obviously, the LA Galaxy had their fairy tale ending. Well, not quite. Almost fairy tale ending if Donovan had scored a hat trick. Now that would have been truly a fairy tale ending. But anyway, Dan, did you get that article I sent you on Landon Donovan? That was in was that the ESPN magazine? I can't remember which magazine it was. That actually Fritz Peterson gives that to me because he doesn't really read it, but he gets it all the time, so he brings it in to me to read. So let's see what else is happening. The Vikings are below 500 as usual. The Seahawks are doing well. In fact, Nikki, I think you're going to be at that game today. In fact, not you are. I know you're going to be at that game today. So we'll look for you. I'm not going to be able to watch the Seahawks game because it's not going to be on, unfortunately, my local coverage. And since I just get local television, I don't have satellite or anything. I have to watch what they give me. But anyway, in the highlights, I'll look for you. So why don't you send me a picture or two, would you? Let's see. We've also got the college football playoffs coming up on the 1st. We can all hope that Jimbo Fisher et al. Do not make it past Oregon for obvious reasons. I mean, you guys live in Oregon, right? So, and I keep thinking about Jameis Winston and thinking, is he going to be another Ryan Leaf in the NFL? Is he really going to be able to succeed? You look at NFL quarterbacks, and the ones who succeed are the ones who have, who are actually really good pocket passers. And I'm not overly thrilled with Jameis Winston's delivery. It reminds me more of Tim Tebow's delivery. So, yeah, that's that. Let's talk about travel. Nikki, where the hell did you just get back? I can't keep track of where you go these days. You just got back from somewhere. Was it Mexico? Was it Hawaii? Was it Barbados? Oh, hell, I don't know. It was somewhere warm. You need to make a video so that I can keep track of where you've gone, or I need to write it in my calendar. And now you're up at the Seahawks.